Yo, before the yeah, um, happy Father's Day or great Father's Day. I don't really know, man. Um, just like the Mother's Day specials, this will be the same. So on and so forth. So yeah, happy Father's Day, I guess, to y'all here. I don't know, man. Hello. Um, Surprised to no one, I don't really have a father. Well, yes, I was technically created by someone, and that doesn't necessarily make me the son of said person. Also, by the way, I do encourage you to ignore the background noises, because, well, we have some unwelcomed guests in here. Don't believe me? Well, why do you think this is against the door? Anywho, I'll let the others speak their piece. See ya. What can I say about my father I haven't already said? I guess I'll start with the positives. Oh, wait. There isn't any with him. I guess I'll cut the story short. You see, my father was a married man. I'll give you a hint. He wasn't married to my mother. Oh, no, he'd never be caught dead anywhere near her. Just say, my father had an affair with my mother. My mother didn't know of his marriage status, as he didn't necessarily wear a ring. I'd be willing to bet $10 that he sold it off to a pawn shop for extra cash. And well, here I am. I wasn't necessarily meant to be born. My mother was supposed to be a night one stand for the guy. He was supposed to over and done with, you know. So you could say that. I wasn't necessarily wanted by him, but to be honest, I couldn't care less. Not like he cared about me anyway. My mother, again, bless her heart, did her best. And the closest thing I have to a father is my mentor, the guy that looked after me and taught me how to be human, or at least empathy. My father was a gray cat, my mother was a black cat. I don't necessarily like talking about the guy, he's a bit of a... We don't see eye to eye. He never wanted me, and I never wanted him, especially after all he's done to mother. He doesn't even visit. The only reason he sees me every once in a while, well, was when I was little because he had to pay visits to his one and only son. That is, of course, you know, so on and so forth. Oh, right. No, I'm sorry, my bad. He never cared to see me. He, just wanted to borrow some cash from my mother, disguising it as him visiting his favorite and only child. I'm willing to bet that I wasn't his only one. Oh well. The guy could straight up just go away for all I care and stay where he's at. My father was a great man, royal scientist at that. He barely had time for us, which, to be fair, not that I fault him for that. We necessarily I didn't have a mother growing up. So, my father was the only parental figure I ever had. He was a great man, a striver, I guess. If I were to compare him to someone here, it would be maybe Isaac Newton. He was a man of science. Always wanted to leave his mark in the world. One day he just vanished. He was working on a machine, and then poof, gone like that. No body was found, except for his hand. And that got not much to say. He wasn't around much, but he was great all around. So yeah. My father was a man of many things. A man of money, however, he was not. My father worked a dead-end job. Not that I blame him. It was, what was it, the 80s? Things were not going great in here. We were one of the fewer, less lucky, or less fortunate kind of people during that time. Money was low. Businesses were shutting down, so I don't necessarily blame him for, well, keeping the job he had. He didn't earn a lot. My mother was actually the higher earner of the family, which back in the 80s brought a lot of shame to him, but not like he cared. He still, well, he was happy with it at least, that he was able to help out, but not by much. We'd go to Fazbear's every month or so. It was actually kind of a nice, more of a, what would the word be? Privilege rather than anything. So, yeah, my father wasn't necessarily a busy man. His dead-end job didn't provide him a lot of breaks, but he didn't have to work as much. My mother, on the other hand, well, she was the only reason the lights were kept on at all. So, she never got a break. He got some breaks here and there, but that's because his dead-end job, well, didn't necessarily make us a lot. It was enough to get by, but not enough to get by with a family of 3, maybe a family of 1, but not 3. So, you could pretty much assume how I died. Mother was getting a phone call. Father was, well, making sure that the bills were paid while she was busy. I, of course, decided to wander off. And here I am now. Both of them were great people who did their best. And I don't fault them. I do wish they spent a lot more time with me, but I don't necessarily fault them. I hope they're okay now. They don't have to worry anymore. Kind of sad to think that your parents have moved on from this world, only for you to be dead and still be alive. Unlike Foxy, or I guess you could say Fritz, I'm not a soul. I'm a robot. A somewhat sentient robot with personality. I don't remember much about my creator. I know they were a mechanic. I guess you could say I did have a parent, but don't know whether they were a father to me or a mother. It's been a while since I've seen them. They were barely around, I guess you could say. They made me for this off-brand Fazbear's Pizzeria, I guess, called the Twisted Emporium, I believe. It was more akin of like Fazbear Frights, but you know, it's also a restaurant, not just a horror attraction. It was a mix of both. I don't really have much to say about my creator. They weren't necessarily much around much, and I don't genuinely know who they were to me. Were they a father? Were they a mother? Don't know, but I was barely on. malfunctioned the most. Well, not the most. Someone else malfunctioned a lot more than I did, but other than that, I don't remember much about my parent. Just like Twisted, I don't remember much about my creator. I know they were an artiste. They drew me a lot. One day I just came to life. Didn't see them though. I've never actually seen my creator. I do remember them drawing me a lot though. Sentient drawing brought to life. I do remember I was inspired by some sort of cartoon character back in the 70s, I believe. I just don't remember who. Oh well. What can I say about my father that isn't necessarily too personal? I guess he was, well, at least I hope, he did his best when it came to raising me, I guess. He wasn't around that much, but he was there. I guess you could say he was a bit irresponsible, but I don't know. I can't say much without being too personal about it. One thing I do remember a lot is he did encourage me when it came down to, well, my crushes, I guess. I never had a crush on someone, although to be fair, I feel like that was more teasing rather than encouragement, but still. It was a thought that counted, at least. I haven't been able to remember what he looks like. All I've got are pictures and things he gave me. I guess you could say he was a great guy, at least I hope he was. No, how I would like to say that my parents were the inspiration for me doing what I do today. They kind of were. My father wasn't necessarily a big inspiration, but, you know. It was more of a, I guess, guideline of what not to do, you know? To learn from his mistakes, I guess, was what he was. Rather than follow his example, you know? Guy was a roofer. He worked on rooftops. I think he eventually got fired. I don't know though. And that I've got nothing else to say that isn't too personal about my father. And that's it. I would put on the crown and cape, but I'm too lazy. So yeah, happy Father's Day. Again, not much here to say, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, or night. I'll see y'all whenever I'm done hibernating. Peace. Also, I'm sorry if I'm like really quiet. There are people outside. Not like people. Not like my family. No. Random people. An uncle. Some other kid who keeps opening my door, which is why I prop that against the door. I hate people. I'm an introvert, which is why I've locked myself in here. I haven't eaten. No, I have someone brought me a plate. My grandma brought me a plate of food, so I should be fine for now. I'm sorry if I'm being very quiet, but